funereal chants sing for a fallen comrade. We'll begin, as always, with a small recap. Previously, our characters having returned from the past, future past, present past, leveled up to 9, becoming even more powerful than before, and watched again the battle against, or the battle off the Red Path and Archon's forces, the forces of Tiamat, the Scaled Tyrant, unfold before jumping in again. Sky, during this fight, this time, however, managed to convince Arenia, her closest thing she ever had to a sister, to understand what is truly going on, unveiling the lies of Ash, and switch sides. But Caneth was still very much so deep underneath Ash's spell. The battle was bloody and brutal, and by the end, while victorious, with Ash destroyed and Caneth freed from her control, we paid the ultimate price. Our friend Casimir, with his last dying breath, destroyed Ash with a mental attack spell, sending her flinging back through the hells. But as a price, he was brutally killed and destroyed beyond immediate revival. After escaping, speaking briefly in those days that we quickly traveled to the Elven City, we spoke to the two members of the Red Path. We spoke to Arenia, and we spoke to Caneth, who revealed to us that he remembered something. He remembered that Derival, the telemancer, the teleportalist, the conjurer of the group, was the one to originally betray the Red Path, for whatever reason, turning his back on his family, and bringing Ash into their lives. Ever since then, almost not a single thought has been their own. All duplicitous persuasion and controlling magic. The DawnGuard made their way to Singorn, and there was a difficult choice to make. One that Bryn had the task of fulfilling. A question to her mother, to Nuviel, a plea, really, to resurrect her friend. But Tenuviel wanted something in return. She wanted the dangerous terrorists, villains, criminals, mongrels that attacked the Elven Citadel and all of its art and beauty to be killed. The Elven Court wants them captured, but Tenuviel sees that as a mercy. Bryn is tasked with killing all the members of the Red Path, or failing to do that within a year's time, to become an acolyte of the Moonweaver, the goddess that Tenuviel follows, under her mother's watchful eye. Bryn, perhaps still feeling the deep sadness of losing a friend or feeling cornered here, agreed, and the ritual began. All of the party was summoned to the resurrection chamber of this vast temple of twilight. On the other side of things, however, Casimir, as he passed, was in brief company, tempted by Vecna, offered power and mastery over prophecy and fate, which once again, strong of mind and will as he always has been, even in death, Casimir refused him, to which Vecna promised to make sure that his resurrection will never come. Casimir then traveled to the eternal gloom-filled realm of the goddess of fate and death herself, the Raven Queen, a vast figure in a dark cloak and a porcelain white mask, who now waits with him. As she turns, as she and Casimir turn to see this rift between the realms begins to open. We see on the other side in this chamber Tenuviel, who floats there, powerful magic of her goddess of twilight surrounding her. She reaches out towards Casimir's soul, but then tells the soul something is not quite right. He was your close friend. He was your fallen soul. Yours to save and yours to protect. I cannot bring him back. I can only act as a bridge between the worlds. You are the ones who must plead with the goddess of fate, with the mistress of death. A plea to bring him back, if so she shall allow it. You all feel this overwhelming twilight magic sort of whipping around. We see a strange, dark purplish sort of mist with twinkling stars in between that sort of float on through, as you see that somewhat in a almost like a mirrored but a lot more sort of brightly glowing in the space comparison to Bryn's sort of starry form. You see Tenuviel as well takes on this sort of celestial constellation form as she performs her magic. Although the constellation within her is that of sanctuary, of balance, of protection, and the magic pouring out from her in this moment is nearly blinding as you guys feel what it is to stand in the presence of the High Priestess of Singorn, the oldest city of the elves within this world and the Feywild. So, taking a step back here from the scene, I will explain how this is done. You guys are very much so probably familiar already about the Critical Role's Resurrection Ritual. What that means is that, well, unfortunately, it is not as simple as casting a spell and our friend is back. No, in fact, death is a thing of eternity, of permanence, unchanging and unforgiving. But it can be swayed. You guys will be, as individual characters, should you choose, make offerings to the goddess. It could be something as simple as a golden ring or a bunch of golden coins, or it could be words that stir the soul, experiences you've shared together. Why? The explanation to why your friend should have a chance to return. That said, at the end of all of these offerings, should you choose to make them, I will be rolling a d20. Every time you guys succeed on one of these checks, the DC lowers. Every time you fail to impress the goddess with your offering, or your words, or your bond you share with Casimir, the DC will increase instead, making it more difficult for Casimir to come back. To begin this ritual, as Tenuviel is standing there, and you see a look of momentary sort of confusion and then sort of narrowing of the eyes, a look of, and I think you see it for the first time in the eyes of your mother there, Bryn, a look of fear, as I will go first, or should I say, Vecna will make the first offering. You guys watch as this rift opens. All of a sudden, this dark, necrotic magic begins to corrode the edges. As you guys see this rift now, and on the other side, see this vast figure of porcelain mask and Casimir standing there. As this whisper comes on in, as you hear Vecna speak out. Once again, you steal from me my chosen raven bitch. Can you not see that he is my champion? He is to return so my power can course through him. He is the one to lead my army. He will be the one to turn this world to carrion. You will return him to me, your power, a paltry trick. Vecna rolls a 1, lowering the DC, increasing the DC of this, as the Raven Queen looks to Casimir, the supposedly chosen of Vecna, as Vecna's visage begins to retreat into the shadows, a grin of golden and yellowed teeth. One glowing green sort of fog-filled eye, and one crystalline blue and clear, as he smiles. Casimir, you in this moment do not have the ability to respond, act, or anything of the sort, unfortunately. As his visage disappears, Vecna rolls a 1. He fails. Of course, these are the last things that Raven Queen would want to hear, as her grip on him tightens. As you all hear that distant and now fading laughter of Vecna's. Tenuviel looks sort of frightened for a moment and looks to you all kind of confused, as if like, what is going on here? She looks to you, Bryn, and says, your ally, is this true?
I mean, Vecna showed interest, but we didn't know that.
She raises an eyebrow and kind of looks towards this rift, her magic still pouring out into the space, as we see like few other like these like high priests kind of casting spells here to aid. She kind of looks and says, I do not sense villainy within this soul we are trying to retrieve. I do not know. As she's just gonna like suspicious now, looking in to see if this is this true? Is this lies? Is this what is going on? But she allows the spell to continue, as you guys now realize you've known Casimir for a long time now. Casimir doesn't have an evil bone in his body. That is Vecna trying to force the scales of balance in his favor, for whatever reason, seemingly wanting Casimir dead. You'll realize that your work might be even harder now to retrieve him. Tenuvia looks to you all, says, the rift between the worlds opens. Speak to the goddess of death and fate. If your words are true, if your deeds are enough, she will hear them. Who wishes to go first?
Sky will step up.
Okay. Sky, the moment you step up to this sort of strange celestial rift, we see a halo begins to sort of appear behind your head. We see manifesting behind you slowly, not fully coming into existence, but as if like half manifesting are your wings. What do you say or do?
Look back to Tenuviel. You said like memories and stuff, right? Like
It is your connection to him that will matter here the most. He is on the other side, hearing every single thing you say and seeing every single thing you do in this chamber.
Steps a little closer to the portal, and it's like she knows she can't like pass through it, but she does like kind of like put her hands up, you know, like someone like touching like a mirror or a window, seeing someone out on the other side of it.
It doesn't feel like you can put your hand through it. It's just
Yeah.
very much so like a mirror, and it feels freezingly cold.
You sure went and did a foolish thing there, which is ironic coming from me, being the person that has done the most outlandish, insane, terrifyingly crazy stuff, endangering my life all the time. But I want you to know something, Cass. I was when all this started, before we ever met. I was a broken, shattered woman. I had lost absolutely everything. I had no one. Not a single individual in this world at the time cared about me. I could have died on the side of a road and no one would have bothered to ever look twice. Then I took a job all the way out there to that little shithole of a town where I met you. I still look back at that day and I can't help but think that never in 1,000 years would I have imagined that little scrawny, half-starved boy walking in dressed in burlap rags would have changed my life the way you had. That in you, someone that I thought was admittedly nothing more than a joke, a footnote in history that would be rolled over just like a dead animal on the side of the road, would actually be the first person in a long time that I ever made friends with. That would be an individual that I would confide in, that I would share some of the darker parts of my life with, that would be compassionate enough and understanding enough to see those broken parts of an individual put back together, and that when I thought my light was gone, that I would be forever alone in the darkness, that you would be there to guide me out of it. That I am closer to being myself today because you refused to see somebody who was broken and instead sought to put me back together.
Okay.
I owe you more than I can express. There are not enough words in everything I know and in all the poetry I can recollect that can express just what you have done for me. And aside from just saying it again and again, the only other thing I can do is exactly what you have done for me, time and again. And she's gonna shift her gaze from Cass to the Raven Queen. He has done more for this world to set right the balance that has been left in it. He has fought Vecna tooth and nail. He has shown that he has a will and a fortitude, a foresight that even he and his dark schemes can't overcome. He has been there to fight him every step of the way, and if we lose him, I'm afraid our world might be lost to whatever it is he is planning. And of those things that he has tried to set right, of those balances that he has corrected, I have to admit, and she kind of looks back over her shoulder at Tanuviel for a moment and then back into the portal. In the time that I served the Red Path, I put more things out of balance than anyone could have. I'm responsible for putting more people in your care than any one person ever should be. So, aside from memories and the truth about what Casimir is, what he has done, what he can do, I offer myself as well, so that he can come back here and finish what I think only he can do.
There is a moment, less so in this mirror, and more so in the room, as these elves begin to sort of look amongst themselves here, as the spell continues. You speak true and from the heart, yet you do not see a single movement from the pallid mask that stares back. Jess, go ahead and give me a persuasion roll. You can have advantage. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Fuck yeah.
Sky, you feel this strange gust, this wind, this incredible cold that surrounds you. You begin to feel this strange void of feeling. First, your sort of fingertips, then your lips, your hair, your hands, as this presence sort of washes over you, like a watchful gaze of a disciplinarian, inspecting, looking, searching for any weakness, before it begins to slowly fade away. Casimir, on the other side, you hear every single word. You see the mask turn to look at you, Casimir, on the other side, and says, your allies think of you as the one to save them, prevent great tragedies. Do you think they will be lost without you? Or do you think if you are gone, they will find their way still?
My friends are strong. Honestly, they probably could do it without me. And that is honest. But they would have a much harder time and some of them may fall along the way, and I don't want that. Vecna is a master of all things arcane. I'm merely a servant of the weave, trying to prevent his influence where I see it.
She looks back to you and says, and yet, her hand moves beneath the cloak, and you watch, you feel it for a moment, this sort of cold fingers like knives across your back, as you feel whatever it is that is drawn and inscribed, grafted onto your body, projects itself in front of you in this magical sort of text, these lines that you've never understood. She says, and yet you bear his mark. How unique. She looks back to this mirror. As Casimir, you feel that cold wrap around you again. You see Tenuviel on the other side, holding this spell aloft still. You see for like a single little bead of sweat that whoosh, disappears as quickly as it appears down her forehead. She says, your words bring him closer. You have done all you can. Who will speak next?
I'll go up next.
Hmm?
All right, so Bryn goes up. She gets close, probably not as close as Sky, and takes a knee, and like kind of dips her head.
As you approach, Bryn, to this sort of divine sort of rift here, you feel this surge of energy as Tenuvia looks down and sees this arm made fully of gust and lightning on you. And she gives you this sort of, not angry look, but a look of stern disappointment as it sort of empowers as you approach this rift.
All right, and as she bows her head, she's not looking at the Raven Queen. She's not looking at either of them. She's kind of looking down. Cass, I'm sorry. Sorry I couldn't get to you fast enough. That I couldn't heal you as I was supposed to. Every single time, every alternate fate destined for me, you thwarted it. And I know because I saw my life flash before my eyes, aware of what was written in the stars, before you scrambled it. I wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for your divine intervention. And I need you to know that it's because of you I stand here united with the God whose very essence is combined in this arm. A path I never saw myself going down, because of you. Were it not for you, I wouldn't be as I am. I'd still be that selfish, power-hungry archaeologist who only cared about what name she could carve for herself to prove that she was worthy. To have a name that would be echoed by those across Exandria as someone important. And I realize now it's not what's important. Maybe because I never had a true family. Never thought I needed one. I left the DawnGuard, afraid of becoming too attached. To being slowed down by investments that I thought were a waste of my time. And that included things that would help each of you. Personal things. And now I see that was really cold. Selfish. And it took nearly dying in a ruin that I realized that if I died, no one would care. Probably take weeks before anyone noticed I was missing it all. Maybe months. And when I saw all of you again, especially you, Cass, you're the glue that holds the party together. I knew it was the wheel of the weave. And I know it sounds a bit cheesy, but I still remember when you said, Bryn is intelligent. And I mean, I know I am, but to hear you say it so easily, someone as smart as you, like I belonged when everywhere else I felt like an outsider. The Ashari was never truly a home. The Alabaster the same. I was never a student. I was exempt and disliked. It meant a lot to me, to belong. Especially when you said it, because you're much kinder, altruistic, and a person that I wish I could be like. And I've always admired that strength. Because it is a strength, not a weakness, as I once thought it was. And now you're gone, and my failure glares at me. I come to a crossroads. And at this point, she draws her sickle with the hand that's made of wind and storm.
Mm-hmm.
And her hair is flat, like against her, like it's been raining. Looks like kind of like gray, not as wispy as it usually is. And her eyes crackle with like the lightning of the storm, and the scent of ozone is heavy in the air. And when she starts speaking again, she cuts the inside of her, like her corporeal palm, like the flesh one, and she clutches her fist, holding out it as like droplets of blood start to fall onto the floor. And in this moment, she uses her magic to cast a 5th level divination to speak directly to Cord. I cannot fight the Raven Queen for you, but I can repent in light of my failure to you, Casimir. If you do not return, let it be heard by the Storm Lord, the god of war, and the Tempest, of my father, Yolnir's paladin. I swear on my soul that I will hunt down the legions responsible for bringing about your death. The master that Ash called to in her 11th hour. The foes that pushed her hand in desperation to make that call. That pits me against Tiamat and her champion, Archon, so be it. I shall pick up a new blade in light of this oath, and I shall not stop swinging it until the blood of the devils and demons that spilled your blood comes to dry. Said that wrong. I'm getting all emotional. Fertilizes the soil for centuries to come where you're astride. For you, my friend, and my brother. And she gets a bit choked up, and she goes, and I failed you. I can only hope that in this promise, I can earn your forgiveness. For once in my life to devote myself to something beyond my own selfishness. To this I swear.
Okay. You guys watch as she holds this bleeding hand out. The blood that falls down before it ever touches the ground is whisked away by what is now this whipping wind that begins to sort of surround the room. Mist and fog begins to appear in the twilight, and we hear this distant battle cry, or at first we think it is, as these lightning and thunderous sounds begin to fill the room. Every once in a while, when the lightning flashes, we see a figure, a massive humanoid figure with a spear made of lightning in one hand, the other reaching down towards this rift between instead. As this magic begins to sort of whip around, powerful thunderous sounds, as you, Bryn, swear an oath. Emily, go ahead and roll me. I think this is going to be your choice of your spellcasting ability roll, your like wisdom plus proficiency, or this could be perhaps you calling back to heal him, a medicine roll as well.
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna go with my wisdom. So would that be my save then? If it's with.
If you have like a spell attack of some sort or a wisdom saving throw, if you're proficient in wisdom, that's pretty much the math of it.
Yep. All right, I'll do wisdom.
Go right ahead, and you can have advantage because of your
Okay,
spell.
cool. What? Well.
Oh my god. Bryn, you pour your blood there. You pour all that you had to give.
I do have a question.
Yeah?
That is technically a save.
No, it's a check. It's an ability check. We just use this for like the number. Oh, boon of fate. You can augment this. You can add or detract a d10. I'd suggest you add this time.
I'll add a 6.
6 to a 16 here. The sound of thunder roaring about here as you call to Cord here to help in this temple of twilight, this rift to the goddess of death. On the other side of the rift, again, on the other side of this glass, Casimir, you hear every single word here. Again, you see the Raven Queen look to you and say, your allies have such strong connection to my fellow gods. This one willing to swear her life to a cause. The remains of her story to be written in your name. To fight the horrors that brought you low. To destroy what destroyed you. And yet, it is all the words of a single mortal. A single life. She sort of looks over to you. Oh, I think the music bot stopped working, or is it just me?
I hear it.
It's just you.
Uh-oh.
No, but it's still going.
Oh no.
Jay?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, the DM's internet just died. Everyone, hold on a second.
No!
It's back.
All right, everybody. We're currently experiencing a internet outage in the DM area where he's trying to reconnect. I hope he does, because that'd be a really bad place for us to cut off. He's back. We're getting ready to come back on.
Your name, that her life will become a battle to slay those who have slain you, yet still she is just one of the innumerable lives lost to this same cause. She looks back to your friends and says, one thing that mortals will never be able to come to terms with is just how little one soul, one drop in an ocean can truly bring change.
Can Casimir respond?
Included. Yeah, absolutely.
Casimir's going to turn and look at the Raven Queen. Yet, a drop of water can make a ripple, which can eventually turn into a wave. When Bryn puts her mind to something, I wouldn't count her out.
Okay. All right. You turn back to the group there as they continue to perform this ritual. Tinuviel looks to you, Bryn, and says, you have said the words you've said. You have offered what you have offered. Who will speak next? But as she looks to the group, her eyes linger on Bryn there for a moment as we see the storm magic around her. And there is a moment of sort of softness to her eyes, as if reminded of something dear to her. As Bryn, you begin to sort of stand, walk back to the group. She looks to the group asking who will go next, if anyone.
Nudge Roxy forward.
Roxanne will move forward.
Mm-hmm.
She will actually get really close, even though, because like she's not squeamish by the body. She's gonna like fix it to make sure it's right.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I guess you and I are not really friends, but to be fair, I'm not friends with many people, so don't take it to heart. We do have a lot in common, and we have the same goal as well as the same love for history. And she's gonna pull out a book that she never gave anyone because it's her personal book that she got from Wildmount when she was researching like elven royal families of Exandria. You haven't really read this one because this one's kind of personal. The one thing that we also have in common is that we want to get rid of Vecna. And I'm sure the Raven Queen doesn't really like him either. So if she was playing chess, she would be smart to put this piece back on the chessboard. And, well, you can't really read this if you're dead, right? So, like, stop being dead. And she'll put the history book on the body.
Okay. He watches the covers of the book sort of open and the pages begin to turn. Their text begins to sort of illuminate as Roxanne, in this situation, you offer knowledge. Jen, go ahead and roll me your choice of, I think, either history or investigation. Okay, 25. You present the book there, a simple deed, a simple offering here, but a tangible one. On the other side of the rift, again, we see Casimir, who, as the Raven Queen sort of looks at you and says, this is the one that gathered your mortal remains. The one with foresight that will be the thing that might just give you this second chance. She doesn't seem like the others. Yourself, the rest of them. She's been alone for a very long time. A loneliness that she does not wish for you. And yet, ages have passed, and the words in ink and often made no difference in fates to come. Knowledge given or wasted, often showing no difference. She looks back to the rift. As you're taking all of this in, Casimir, you see Tenuviel on the other side. She nods, gives a look to Roxy, and says, you have said what you had to give. You have given what you had to say. Who else? And she looks back to the last person there.
Can Casimir respond to the Raven Queen before?
Yeah, of course.
With Roxanne, she's lived a while, and she guards her heart. She doesn't want to make friends, but we are, at least in my eye. I know she guards her heart, but I know she has the capacity to love large, her husband. I know she loves him greatly. Look at her actions and why she does them, and not just her words.
She looks back to you. This pale mask, just the two eyes and the darkness beneath them. She looks out to this realm of twilight, realm of darkness and death. Love. You will learn fast. In this place, love is but a fleeting memory.
I didn't have it until I met them.
She looks back to the rift away from you again. Bella, everyone looks
Yeah.
at you.
Arabellis will go up to the portal. Casimir, what can I say? Oh, you have done much for me. You've done much for us. In certain ways, we were both naive before we met this group, and we've learned so much, grown so much. And in some ways, just like the rest of everybody, I feel responsible. I'm supposed to be your shield in battle, to put myself between you and the enemy. And in that battle, I didn't do that. I did not protect you, and you paid for it. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have met my love, Artusa, or experienced many things. You've given me so much, and I wasn't what you needed me to be. I wasn't your protector. So, and she'll take out the axe beak tomahawk, this weapon that helped slay the dragon and that helped us in our many battles against enemies who may evade us. I retire this weapon in your name, and she will try to bend the weapon to a point of it like breaking, basically.
Okay. You feel this cold, frigid wind begin to wrap around your forearms, your grip, your fingertips cold and frozen, as if the goddess of fate and death are making a point to show you that you have not the strength, to show that you have this strength to protect your friend. Go ahead and make me an athletics roll to break this magical weapon. Incredible. You begin to bend it. You feel this cold wind gripping onto your shoulders. You feel your vision becoming blurry, your breath sort of fogged and steamy, as if this room was sub-zero temperature. You feel the magic of this weapon flashing. Sparks of magic begin to appear as you, with one final sort of roar, bend and break this weapon. Its magic pours forward, but it sort of attaches to something. This strength of will of yours that almost oozes from you in the moment, mixing with the magic of this weapon, as if a proof of the strength you are willing to show to protect your friend. It all flows towards this cold rift. As it passes through, on the other side, once again, we see the Raven Queen look to Casimir there. This one shows their will to protect not only you, but the rest of you. The only way she knows. Through might. This one wants to see you back. This one shares many cherished memories with you as well, much like the rest of them. But this one feels desperate, afraid that what she has is not enough, that she is weak, even with all that might in her hands. She looks and stares, and as this is happening, Bella, there is this looming feeling of doubt within you of, is this good enough? Is this what a god would want? Would a god care? As on the other side, Casimir, you see that cold, uncaring glare of the goddess of death and fate beaming down onto your friend, who's trying to do, everything she can to bring you back. She looks to you, the Raven Queen, Casimir, and says, this one has no magic. This one has, however, possibility. A strange gravitas. You, in life, were a powerful wizard. Do you think one like this, gesturing to him, do you think, Zarcriel, that might will be enough in the end when you stand at the base of the mountain, when you stand facing vile powers of the one you've sent back to hell? What use for might is there against such a foe? She looks to you.
Bella is courageous, strong, and the base of that mountain, she would have the possibility to lift it out of our way. She, being not magic based, is still strong, and the fact that she thinks it's her fault that I am where I am, that's false. I made a choice. She should not have to carry that weight.
We are bound by our choices. Yet you, and mages like you, believe often they are beyond and above fate. As she says that, Casimir, you feel a twitch in this celestial form of yours. You feel a power. You feel your magic come to you for just a brief moment. You are a prophet, a diviner, a seer, a sage. The goddess of death, the goddess of fate next to you is all powerful. All the destinies of the world, every life, every death pre-recorded and known already. Your power is not so vast, but it is enough, even in this moment from beyond the gate, to intervene. Casimir, the thing we talked about before, your ability, all of the previous rolls that were made, do you wish to augment any of them?
Yes.
Go ahead and explain what you're about to do and for who here.
Casimir stands there as his power comes to him, and he recalls Bryn's words and the coldness of the Raven Queen. So he would like to rewind that so it comes across to the Raven Queen in a way she would better understand.
Okay. Lightning begins to roar around. Casimir, as a powerful diviner, had one portent roll to help from beyond. Bryn, your 10 becomes a natural 20 before the bonuses are added, turning into a 27, 29, what was it? 28.
Plus the boon.
Turning what... Plus the boon, actually, plus 6, so 28 plus 6, you're rocking a 34 right now, as the storm begins to sort of whip around you. However, Casimir, you feel a hand on your shoulder, the goddess of fate noticing what you are doing here, however, knowing that you wish not to abuse your power, yet only to show her how much those words mean to you rather than her.
Yep, correct.
She looks down. She inspects your allies. You feel her hand on your back. Her fingers begin to wrap around your shoulder. You feel it. This is the moment. The moment of fate. The moment of judgment. The moment where it is decided if you get to come back or not. Again, stepping away from the table just for a moment here. Mechanically, strictly mechanically speaking, how this works. The DC for your resurrection, having never died before, starts at a 10. Vecna giving you an automatic failure increased that DC by 2. So you would start at a 12 instead. Your 4 allies here, offering and speaking from the heart as they did, were all successful through your ability to show the Raven Queen as well how much the words and the oath and the deeds mean to you. Each success lowers the DC by 3, meaning all of you reduced it by a total of 12, reducing it further and further and further, -3 each time, 4 times, starting at that 12. I'm gonna post what I rolled about a half an hour ago when I rolled for this roll before any of this, setting the DC. Here's the roll that I got. I will post it in the, let's say in the RP Teldore chat of Discord. I rolled a natural 1. The DC was, however, 0, which means you watch as the Raven Queen pushes onto your back. As Casimir, you hear the words as she says, "Your tale is not over yet," pushing you through this portal. You feel this energy begin to whip around as you guys watch this strange, dark, this glow begin to apparate around Casimir's body. And as the glow disappears, Casimir, your eyes open. One is enough to beat a 0, even in this case here. As Casimir, you feel the cold embrace from the Raven Queen's realm fade from you as you all look down, as Tenuvial sort of lands. She was sort of drifting about an inch in the air, casting the spell. She sort of lands to the ground, her arms sort of come together. These mages and archpriests lower their sort of heads and such as the magic begins to fade. As you all look, and Casimir, you stand up. You feel incredible soreness and pain, as all of you see that the ritual was a success. Your friend stands once more in front of you.
I jump on him. like straight up, like the moment he's up and he breathes, like Sky like jumps from the portal, like grabs him, arms around him. Like, Augie, you're back.
Careful, don't put me back there.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna squeeze. She squeezes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sky. Thank you, everyone. Bella, Bryn, Roxanne. Tinubial.
Tinubial raises her hand. Sky, go ahead and make a wisdom save.
Well,
Is she casting a spell on her?
Yeah.
Yeah, Roxanne will, if she's close enough, she'll put a dagger to her neck.
Okay. Roxy, you whip a dagger out. 4 of these elven mages nearby raise their hand in your direction. Sky, your body locks up with paralysis as you cannot move an inch here. All of you look around like, what is happening, as she holds her hand out and a finger raised. You hold a dagger to her throat, Roxy, as you feel a glaive at the back of your neck from one of the soldiers of these elven warriors behind you.
This was not part of the deal.
Tinuviel glances sideways at you and then looks over to Sky and says, a member of the Red Path has returned to our city in a sense of mockery today.
You
I've allowed
brought her
the
here.
ritual.
You told them to go and get her.
I did not know your ally was one of these villains. If I did, there would be no ritual or resurrection to speak of.
Your tree wouldn't be standing if it weren't for her.
My city wouldn't be burning if it wasn't for her.
It's not her. It was fucking Ash. What is wrong with you?
You heard her say it herself. For all the things she's done with these Red Path, these pillagers and destroyers. What other proof do you need? Or do you too see the lies and the violence that these people have woven down their path? Have they managed to dig their claws into you? Are you one of theirs now as well?
Fuck you. No, I'm not. Do you want your daughter here or not?
She is holding the spell. All of these elves, there's now like 10 of them, right? These like elite elven guards that are like holding their glaives over here. There's some like bowmen in the back. Some of these mages that are like holding the like priests that are holding their spells, looking at this situation. She looks to you and says, the deal was struck. I have made the spell come to life as you've asked. Your friend is returned. Put your blade down if you wish to leave this temple with your hands.
Let her go, or the deal with your daughter being here against her will is gone.
You have no say in any of this.
Yes, the
half-breed.
deal was either we do one or the other, and we're not doing that.
Can I speak?
You can't. You're paralyzed right now.
Oh, I thought it was just like
No, this is a hold person spell holding you right now. In the moment here. Once again, you have Indomitable. If you wish to break out of it, you could.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
She looks over to Bryn. She says, daughter, you have made a pact, an oath you swore twice here today. One was for all these villains to be removed, to no longer torture the world as they did. Is this something that you knew about this person when you spoke the words? Or were you intending on deceiving me from the start?
I'm gonna use Indomitable.
Okay, you break out of the spell. All of these mages like raise their hands to ready. You see Tenuviel immediately begin to like conjure a barrier as if you're like about to like shoot her or attack her or something, and then like to cast another spell at you.
I'm gonna interject there, like right when that question was asked, like Sky's just like breaks out, hands up.
You feel these like chains made out of like golden stars and constellations around you, like forcing you into like almost on your like knees with your arms stretched outwards, as you are able to sort of shatter through those and stand up.
Look, I lied to them. Okay? Bryn, Roxanne, Bella, and Cass, they had no idea who I was, where I came from.
Give me a deception roll there, Sky. This is the high priestess of the elven worship of the Moonweaver. This is a DC to beat. This is gonna be difficult, is what I'm saying.
When I reroll that.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Or
Oh my god, man! What is with this swingy? You look, and with every ounce of your being, you lie. In this moment of tension, her attention is brought to Bryn, to Roxy, who's holding this blade to her throat here, as there is this near violence in this space of worship. She begins to lower her hand as these nearby, so like glaive-wielding elven warriors begin to slowly, not lower their weapons, but turn them instead slowly in Sky's direction. So that is the truth, then.
yeah.
This one has lied to you, deceived you, seeking whatever means and plots this red path seems. I can only assume her words, even in this ritual, to be nothing but lies.
Actually, that was a fair bit true. I'm rather fond of him, but outside of that, yeah, I didn't tell him. And she looks to the others. Look, I'm sorry, but y'all should probably go. And
Earring,
Tenuviel.
what are you doing?
This is bullshit. Okay, can we just start telling the truth like everywhere? You know? So like Tenuviel, when you're talking about to find the red path and kill them, what if they're no longer with the red path? You know?
She looks to you. These people have assaulted my own, attacked my city. It is
You're-
by sheer luck or stupidity that this one admits herself to be one of theirs. For now,
Are you
what I wish to do with her matters not.
I agree. It's within your jurisdiction, but I want you to have all the cards in your decision making. And this Ash, you saw her attack your town. She is a succubus. She
Along
enthralls people.
with
She enthralls people. She controls them.
weak-willed, perhaps.
Yet still controlled.
Yet still controlled, not of their own will.
yet still no excuse.
So
Um,
you think that if someone of their own, stripped of their own free will, i- they're still responsible for their actions?
A will, weak as a gust, is like a fortress with its gates unlocked and unbarred. An invitation. I care not for what yours rules or customs may be. The truth is simple. This one has connections to these people, and while you all seem to believe that they are no villain, this is not for me either to decide.
Then who is it to decide?
She looks over, and you see one of the guardsmen put his spear down. He says, she will be taken into custody, where the Verdant Lord Selendar will decide if she is truly guilty or true. You all should be there for her trial.
Yes, we should. Casimir is gonna, with Sky's permission, hold on to her stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and Rafa
Sky, this.
will take
yeah,
her
go ahead.
dagger down, and she'll say, "For someone who's talking about people taking away their choices, look at you. What you're doing to your daughter. You're no different."
She looks very slowly to you, says, at one point you'll have to realize that your words have no merit or weight in this city, and they never will. And she turns her head away from you.
Not yet, they will, but soon they will. And the next time, I won't call to Nuviel when I'm looking for a good time. And she'll
She-
walk away.
She looks kind of confused, like not fully following. Like, what does that mean?
it-
As Mhm.
Yeah, she'll.
Sky, you are incarcerated by the elves for like the second time.
Yeah, no, sure, right. Yeah, she'll give the gun rig and the sword, and her other stuff to Cass along with Garlic.
Little garlic dog once
Yeah.
again, just chilling there. You are brought to a jail cell later on, and you guys have like a day here in Singhorn while they prepare this trial.
Long rest?
You guys can long rest, sure.
In that moment when Cass was like close to her, could she like lean in and be like, "Could you ask one of the others to go outside and let my brother and sister know that things have escalated in here?"
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Thanks.
I'm glad to hear they're with you, though.
Yeah. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
Casimir, you sort of died before any of that happened. You didn't really know.
I'll tell them.
Okay. You go to the edge of the city. It's like a bunch of elves look at you. The guardsmen say, "You're not going anywhere. You're part of this group that is traveling with a suspicious
Yeah.
person. You're not leaving the city."
All right, he'll go back to his quarters.
Yeah, exactly. As you realize, like, oh, right, that makes sense. They're not just gonna let me walk away. Yeah.
Before he goes to sleep, he'll send a sending spell to Kenneth and Ernia.
Okay. Letting them know. You get a response back saying, you get a response from Erenia right away, and she says she got herself into trouble. We understand this might be difficult at the time, but so much has happened. Me and Kenneth have left already. We'll meet you next time in the City of Fellowship in Iman. Make sure The sky is safe. It is not safe for us here. We'll wait for you there.
Understood.
Okay. Day will go by. For you, Casimir, it feels like a second has gone by and then you're up. For the rest of you guys, it's been a week of walking through the mountains with the dead, destroyed corpse of your friend, who is now back. Casimir, every single piece of your skull was fitted back together through powerful divine magic. And you stand here once again. You heard every single word of all of your allies. You know every single thing they've spoken. The following day, you guys have already been captured by these elves before. And as the following day, this trial is held. Through the overwhelming amount of evidence and actions that Sky was a part of, ever since Stilben to Turstfield's Western across Iman, all of these locations speak to the truth of her character. The trial goes mostly in your guys' favor. However, at the very end of it, this sort of not older, but like seems elderly in an elven sense of sort of like long silver kind of hair, beautiful yet strict elven man, this verdant Lord Selindar. This one that apparently Tenuviel is to marry at some point in the next year. He calls to you, Sky, to speak. After all these deeds have been brought to light of how much Sky has gone through the lands helping those she has encountered, how much evil she has slain, and the words of your allies here, who I imagine all speak in your favor. When you, Sky, are brought to the stand to speak, the Verdant Lord looks down from this sort of judicial location, this grand sort of chair he sits in at this desk, and asks you, should it be so that we release you here? You have walked this red path. Tell to the court, to me as the supreme judge here, and to all who would listen. With these words of this red path being manipulated and controlled instead of their own will, being to do carnage and violence, being to inflict grief and pain. You who have been a broken and lost piece of that story, of that red path. What does the red path mean to you? You watch as a courtroom of like 200 plus elves are sort of like looking to you, and then in one corner, definitely marked with like outsiders or like foreigners or like people who don't belong here, basically. Like you see your friends sitting there. Once again, there is a powerful sense of, well, racism, to be perfectly honest, here. What is it that Sky says? What is the red path?
That's a difficult question to answer, I guess. Like, do you want?
You look. You take one look around the room. They're elves. They're gonna want the long version.
Well, the red path is. She thinks about it for a moment. She looks around and she looks to the elves. It is a means in which people can, which all people can find what you have here. It is sanctuary. It is protection. It's having something when otherwise you would have nothing. It is a means with which to escape persecution, the prejudice, and the bigotry that people like you perpetuate on everyone who is not you, who has less than what you have, who has nothing in comparison. It's an ideal that everyone is entitled to a life of plenty and care and means, and that people who sit on high like you don't have the right to look down on the poor and disenfranchised like I was born into. Not a lot of people understand where it came from, but the idea of what the Red Path is was born because of people doing the exact same thing you're doing now. Looking down on others and judging them, cutting them off, and keeping them at arm's length because you don't think them to be your equal in any way, shape, or form. She glances over at Roxy. You see people like her as half your equal, if that. You don't even acknowledge people like me, Cass, or Bella. That very same contempt is what gave rise to the very thing that we are. And is the very reason we did what we did. To start. And that ideal, I will admit, was corrupted along the way. But anything be corrupted. This beautiful place, for all that it is, can be corrupted.
You,
And as it so happens, that is what happened to us in the end. And I can't say that everything we did was in the midst of an addled mind. But as it turns out, everything that happened after 10 years ago, at this point, everything that's happened since, that was a corruption of who and what they were. As for what they are to me, they're still my family. Still the people that took care of me when I had nothing. And gave me everything that people like you said I would never have.
You see across the crowd, your words resonate with many here. You see a look of shame, something they must have felt long before you even said these words, as they kind of look over to your friends there, as they look sort of to you, but many others, there is a look of confusion, as one amongst the sort of jurors nearby stands and speaks to the Verdant Lord, says, Verdant Lord, most esteemed, guardian of the expanse, this one speaks of pain, of suffering, of difference. Yet, me and the rest of the peoples of the jury here fail to see what any of this has to do pertaining to this case, what any of this has to do with a group of villains burning cities down and taking what they feel they deserve. None of this is elven matters. This has very little to do with how our people see any other. This has to do with, is this group a band of villains who kill and murder? Or is this a group that was manipulated and used, and this one is just another one of their weak-minded puppets? Verdant Lord puts his hand up to stop this person as they sort of bow their head and sit down. He sort of leans in, his fingers crossed. He says, "The peoples of the jury, while their words might be harsh, there is some truth to them. This was never an elven matter. It was only by the fates that this red path, a group of which we have heard running rampant across both Wildmount, across Taldore now, and across Marquette before. It's only by the will of the fates that they've made an attempt at our city as well, attacking one of our most prided and significant treasures, the Sequoia of Remembrance, the source of all memories for the elven peoples. My question to you: if given the chance to right the wrongs of your past, would you try?
I've already been trying. I have hunted down people I called my family. I have helped others save lives that I wouldn't have ever given 2 cents about. I will do what I can, but I don't think I can ever set right everything I've done.
He stands up, and all of the members of the audience and the jury stand up. He says, "I've heard all I've needed to hear, and I've seen all I needed to see. I'm ready to bring my judgment." He, Rav, I'm not sure what that spell does, the thing that you're mentioning. I think it's one of these, like, newer homebrew spells we have, so I don't actually know, like, what it does. Detect past. One action. You do it. Whenever you do it, you must specify a type of event: a murder, a clandestine meeting, a battle, a celebration, a tragedy, an event. You detect any such event that has happened in the past hour within 30 feet of you. You can choose up to one event you detected to view in an entirety as though you bore witness to what happened. Okay. With the 4th level, you can detect further in the past. 8 hours further. 4th level can be like 24 hours further. Okay. Wait. Further in the past, depending on the slot level. The 8. Oh, gotcha. In the 24, if you use a 5th, 6 to 7 days, and such and such and such. Were you trying to use this spell, like, where? Back in that courtyard where the battle was, like, happening here in the city, or?
No, I want to show the judge because I figure they're all aware of who Ash is. They all saw her, right?
Sure.
So if he could show them the battle, how Sky was influential in taking her down.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
But I have to be able to do it for 24 hours. That's my highest spell slot.
Okay, gotcha. You choose one that you've detected. I think, however, so you detect any such event that has happened in the past 1 hour within 30 feet of you.
I
believe.
Okay, all right.
So like you would have to cast this spell where it originally happened, is my understanding. You like make a recreation of it where it actually happened. That's why I assume it was the one that you before when you guys were here, and it happened in the courtyard. But yeah, it wouldn't help here. It wouldn't work in this location, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
Very interesting spell, though. Very cool. He stands. All of them stand. He looks down. You see Tenuviel amongst the crowd here. They are sort of all paying attention to this. He says, Skylith, of the deserts of Marquette, I have heard the words of your allies, those you trust the most. I have heard the deeds of your past, both violent and vile, as well as those of sacrifice and will to protect. And I judge you forgiven of your crimes. You see a lot of people of the elves here begin to sort of look around. Some of them like nod as if like, yes, this is good. This is how it should be. While many are looking around sort of like enraged by this decision. Tenuviel gets a look of just like a long exhale and frustration. While nearby in the crowd as well, we'll see Althea, who gets this sort of sigh of relief listening to this. As the crowd is sort of looking around, the Verdant Lord raises his hand and everyone goes silent. He says, your past is stained with red, with blood. This path you have taken might have been that of dire necessity, a false belief, or just of will to preserve oneself. But I have heard the word that has come across the plains. I've heard the word from Iman, from Westron, from Stilben and beyond. I have not heard the words mentioning a villain. I see someone blessed with skill, honed with time, stepping away from a path they believed was right. As you are forgiven, however, you are still exiled from our city. You are to leave, pursue your fortune, your fate, your destiny. But the peoples of Singorn, we will not welcome you back in your dire times of need. For what you have done, protecting and saving even our own city during an attack that happened here. You are granted forgiveness. But the involvement with the people of your past means that you will forever pose possible danger. I, as the Verdant Lord, must be the protector of my people. And you, as willing as you might be, as hopeful as I am for your future, I cannot deny that you could pose threat to the safety of my peoples.
Yeah. No,
Do you
that's
accept
fair.
this judgment?
Yeah. Yeah. Is that like I leave right away or?
They sort of look at each other like no one's really sure, because usually this is like elf style. Everything takes like days and weeks and stuff. They sort of look at you and say, "If it is your wish to leave immediately, you may do so." He looks over to a group of these like mages and says, "Arrange for a portal, a magical translocation to be done. You will be sent to a location of your choice across Taldore that has access to teleportation. After which, I wish for the Archheart in his beauty and kindness to find for you peace and redemption. One that you seek, one that I hope that you deserve."
That's mighty kind of you. Seems at least one person here has a reasonable head.
You see a bunch of the elves just stand up and fucking march out. They are not happy with this judgment. They begin to sort of leave. It's about like a 50-50. The rest of them like listen patiently. This is the will of the verdant Lord. This is how it be. He stands up, bows to the court, bows to you guys as you guys are escorted outside to one of these elven towers where you're supposed to be just sort of like teleported away. Well, like Sky is, but they're assuming that like you guys might want to leave with your possibly criminal friend, who's apparently also a hero, so we give them the pass.
Before
50-50.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go with her, but before that, Bryn wants to catch her mom before she takes
Okay,
this portal away.
you see her stand up, and one of these many like people who are like, "This is not okay. This is not the judgment we were expecting." She leaves the room, and quickly after like finishing the ceremony here, you see the Verdant Lord begin to head into like the same little side room here, one of these courtrooms that she has gone to. You follow after. These like elven guards like hold their hand up, but then they see you. They realize what your connection is to Nuviel here, and they let you follow. You walk into the room, and you see currently in this room, you see Nuviel speaking in elven tongue to Selendar, and she speaks to him, saying, "I know it is your will, your judgment." But that woman admitted to us that she is a part of this heinous group. I understand you see it as kindness, but many might. Selendar looks to her and says, "It is not kindness that drives my judgment. Their stories have rung across the mortal plane. There are people who wish to do good. And in a world like ours, there's not many like those that remain. Their lives might be shorter than ours, but it does not mean they will bring less greatness to the world." She lowers her head and very much sort of like bowing, like she was talking to like an officiator, like an individual of like nobility and such, as he is still much higher than her on the sort of political ladder here. She bows his head and sighs. And are you trying to like listen into this conversation, or do you just like walk in like, "Oh, sorry guys, I didn't mean to stumble in"?
It's really great that it's in Elven because me, the rebellious child, does not speak Elvish.
You don't
so
know
it
Elven.
doesn't
Incredible. We get
matter.
little subtitles. Perfect. We get little subtitles. As you see them sort of speaking. As they're like speaking, right? You hear the Elven speech. And she goes to say something to him. You hear your name mentioned in Elven. And the verdant lord puts his hand on the side of her cheek to sort of get her attention, and then sort of on the side of her hand, on the side of her arm. And at this point, you walk in. He turns his head to look at you, but she immediately goes to turn, looks to you, and says, "This is a private conversation, and you and the rest of your friends should be gone already. Anything else you forgot to mention to me? Any other lie you've come to put to light?"
I didn't lie when I said I'd take the offer.
And yet, I have a sneaking suspicion that it'd be difficult for someone of my heritage to miss an important detail like traveling with a. She goes to say criminal, and then looks over to Selendar, looks back to you, and says, "An individual like that." Selendar looks over to both of you and says, "I will leave you to commune. I must return to my duties." He walks to you, Bryn, and says, "I understand your connection here is complicated. I wish we could have met at different terms, but I do hope to see you again at the ceremony that your mother and I will be performing."
I already promised I'd be there.
He gives a polite nod and gives you this look of like, "Good luck," kind of glancing over into Nuviel's direction and sort of walks out. She says, "Have you come to what? Gloat? Have you come to decide to go back on your word now that the ritual is completed? It wouldn't be too far from what your father decided to do."
Damn, bitch.
What did my father decide to do so I can tell you which it is?
I see already the magic within your very arm. The hand you've extended towards that dark, stormy sky in hopes of what? One more adventure? One more dungeon, dusty hovel to explore in your search for these artifacts? Your search for what? Glory, fame, and this short mortal coil that these others will be alive to know you for?
You must not have heard my speech when I gave it to the Raven Queen, huh?
I've heard every word, and I know that words mean very little.
I meant that oath when I gave it to you. Might come as a surprise to you, but people change. And like I said, I was very selfish before. Probably learned it from you. And now,
She turns her head away at that.
and now, name doesn't mean as much anymore. Not when there's things to get done. And so I came here because the Verdant Lord over there prohibited killing Sky, which leashes the terms of our agreement. And I accepted that agreement knowing what would happen in the year if I didn't do it. And I had no intention of going back on it.
You've heard the Verdant Lord. She is forgiven. She's no longer treated as this Red Path member. I heard no such pardons for the rest of those villains. Our deal remains.
Very well, that's what I wanted to confirm. I'll be back in the
Very
year either
well.
way. For the wedding, stay here. You said I could bring one person, right?
Does this really matter right now?
Can I bring anyone?
anyone but the half-elf.
I'll hold you to it then. And she turns around. She doesn't even say goodbye.
As you go to leave, she speaks as you're like at the door, basically at the foot of the door. She says, "That arm of yours.
What about it?
Where do you where do you intend to go next? I am no prophet, but I would be a fool to ignore a sign like that.
Sign like what? That I've really embraced what I actually am? The fact that I'm tied to the plane of air?
You are my daughter. You are an elf. This wind that is bound to you is just an unfortunate circumstance. You'll see that once you've lived up to your 500th year, and then 100 and 100 more, when all knowledge you have now is a fading memory, when all of your allies are nothing more than molded artwork on the walls. You're stubborn, as I am, but you are as I was. And one day, you'll be standing here, and I just hope that when you give this speech to your own son or daughter, they won't see it as an obstacle, as a blockade, as a barrier like you do. That
I'm not
they'll be
gonna leave.
wiser to know their responsibilities.
I'm not gonna leave contingent on what ifs. I'm gonna live in the moment. And if the gods will it, I'll be standing in the tempest, not here. She leaves.
You saying that, like, we turn, and this is super like a cinematic shot because we see it like over your shoulder. This is not something Bryn sees, but we see that last you saying like the wind, live in the moment, like a lightning from clear sky here. Like she's heard those exact words before. There is a look of surprise. The smallest little, what might be confused for a smile on a face as perfect in porcelain and elven like hers, and then a look of frustration and disappointment as you walk out of the room. Your friends all teleported away. You're trapped in the Elven City. You're the only one here. No.
Oh,
You
thank
go.
fucking Christ she's gone, guys. Oh, no.
Please don't
You-
leave me here.
You are to stay here forever. No, you catch up with the rest of your friends. Roxy, as you're passing, you see Althea on the side there, sort of like in the crowd. She gives you a little kind of confused little wave, and kind of approaches to you, Roxy, and says, that was pretty intense.
Yeah, that's how it normally is.
This whole experience must have again been very uncomfortable for you, especially for you. I understand your friends as well are often not wanted here, but, well, I don't need to tell you. You've seen it. You've lived it. Have you learned anything? Anything more about Jonas?
Yeah, I did.
Anything, please.
He's looking for that amulet. The only problem is that the people who have it are dangerous. But they're trying to get us. So it's most likely I'll be able to get it, maybe. It's the same one he had.
It's the one that my ancestors had. Listen, and you see this look of, for a moment, like a nervous moment where she kind of like looks around to see as if like someone is listening. Okay? She walks with you to the corner of this courtyard where there's like no one around, and she says, I need to tell you something. Okay?
Are
And I
you worried that
can't,
people are gonna hear you? Because I have a way to fix that.
if it is a magical means, I'm afraid it would be easily noticed, unless you have a way to mask your magic. Okay?
I don't think I do. It was just something he
That's
taught me.
alright. Oh. If so, then go ahead.
Oh, she'll drop her bag and then she'll make a rope trick.
Quip fall down on the ground and says, I'll watch the bag, mistress.
Okay. Your voice sounds deeper.
I was trying to swallow a whole rat, and it got stuck in my throat. I was choking for about an hour while that court thing was going on.
Ah, Quip, you could have, telepathically told me,
No, it felt so good, but bad.
He swallows it.
Oh, there we go. That's a little better.
We'll talk about that later. Just watch the bag, and then she'll go up to the. She'll like help her up, get up the rope.
Okay, you summon. We'll say for this, you can just summon it as more so like a door in front of you that you step into instead. Two of you step in. The door closes behind you. She looks and says, "It's magic. It feels familiar, but we don't have much time.
All right.
I've been somewhat forsaking my training as a priestess here. Day and night now, I've been trying to learn more about where my
Brother.
You've seen through it, and I've been keeping this charade up for too long. I must reveal to you that he is not my ancestor. He is my brother.
Yeah, I know.
She says it like it's like a big reveal, right? Oh, you know? How do you know?
Because you cried when I mentioned the amulet. If you were his ancestor, you wouldn't have gotten that emotional about it.
He has been away for long, and I have made some bad choices. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because I've learned. I finally found where he is. It took everything.
He's hard to find. And you should have left it up to me. You have to focus on this. I could find him. We always
This
find each
doesn't
other.
matter. This doesn't matter to me, as much as the last little piece of what is left of my family matters to me. There was... It doesn't matter. It looks for a moment like she's about to like say something, but then like this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter.
When she sees that, she'll put her hands like on her shoulder. Look, I love him just as much as you do. All right, I want to find him just as much as you do. You can't keep doing this. I'm not going to tell anyone anything. Do you understand that? He's my family. He's your family. And you're my family. So you could just say it.
Roxy, go ahead. I think rather than making a persuasion roll, which is basically so much of what you are doing here, instead go ahead and give me an insight roll here. Okay. She begins to tear up. You see tears well up at the edge of her eyes in this like dark, safe space created by the magic that her brother, the one that you wish to see more than anyone in the world, has taught you. She says, more than a year ago from this day, like any other day, I was enraptured in both my studies and seeking for any signs of Jonas. It has been hundreds of years. I thought him to be dead for the longest time, yet I could never find his soul in the realms of the Raven Queen. I had a vision. I followed this vision, and it led me. And she looks at this point sort of defeated, unable to keep up her sort of like lies here anymore. And she says, "He led me to a woman, red skin and horns. She offered to me what I wanted the most. Knowledge of how to find my brother. I knew at the time she was going to be bad news, but it all mattered so little. Hundreds of years have passed. I was not like this." She gestures to her very young-looking elven self. She brought me to an island, some sort of an old jungle temple. Her and another human, some sort of mage, they brought me to this temple and showed me an artifact of some great power. I gleamed into it, and I saw eternal possibility. And in it, I found the information that I sought. That he is alive. But before I could learn where he is, roaring of battle broke out, and strange snake people attacked us. Much alike the individual that travels with you. My life faded from me and brought me back like this, renewed, with more time, with much more time to look for my brother, but still no information of where Jonas is. For this information of where he is, she asked of me trade. She would let me know where he is now for a single branch from the tree of memory.
You gave her that branch.
You see tears running down her face, and then she looks up to you and says, "There was no other way. It was the only way to learn how to find Jonas." I have no idea what she intended to do with it. When that attack came, I realized too late what I knew before, that she never intended for me to live by the end of our agreement, our trade. When those demons came, when that red path under her control came, they came for me. If not for you, I'd be dead. My search for my brother, pointless. The magic that brought me youth again, pointless. All of it to lure me into a sense of false belief, of trust with that one. I always thought she couldn't be trusted, but she had given me what no god or scholar could ever give me. Knowledge that he's alive. And then, in the last moments before she thought her demons would kill me, the knowledge of where he is. I know this sounds like treason, like I am an apostate to my faith, like I am a betrayer to my people. And I understand that you will see me as a different person now.
I
I
wouldn't say
intend to
that.
walk out
I
of
wouldn't
this
say that.
space and give myself to the powers of Singorn for their judgment. I will
No,
admit
no,
to my
no,
crimes.
no, you will not. Because the only person who knows that is me. And I do not see you that way because I understand. I would probably do anything to find him either.
That is why I came to speak with you here. I know that I see it in your eyes. You care for him more than even I. You must be the one then to find him. I came here to give you the information, to tell you where he is,
He's in the mountains.
and then to make things right, to give myself away.
You found. Did she tell you he was in the mountains?
No. No, not the mountains. I learned where he is heading. I don't know which mountains exactly you speak of, but I saw glimpses. I saw a fortress of giants, and something submerged and drowned beneath them. He seeks this place to prevent something, yet I do not know what, but it is the same thing that demoness seeks.
Look, I'll find him. Don't make any more deals with anyone else.
I
alright?
cannot live with what I've done. I cannot live this lie.
I understand, but if you're imprisoned, I just want you to comprehend because I know your brother, probably a little bit, maybe slightly, because I see how he is. He will kill everyone to get you out of that prison. Do you understand that? That's what will happen.
He, while unlike most here, is still my brother. If he does anything like that, he knows the consequences of such actions. He was, at least in the time I knew him, a ranger unmatched. Shadows would bend around him. But still, there are some things even he wouldn't dare to try.
Yeah, well, he didn't have me. So, you see, we would kill everyone to get you out.
I
I know you don't
don't
understand it.
think I deserve to be out.
It's not what I mean. Look,
They damaged the tree, the
we
sequoia.
got the
Memory
tree
gone
back. We
forever.
got the tree back. Nothing happened. She's dead.
But what if you weren't there? What if you didn't? What if she fulfilled this trade that I agreed to?
Then I say you go to jail, but it didn't happen. So
By mere circumstance, because you were there. That is why it didn't happen. You mean to tell me it was fate that stopped her? Fate that you were there at that time, and not just my foolish luck.
Yes, because the tiefling guy we have with us, he kind of sees that stuff.
You should know about that one.
What about him?
He seems unlike most wizards I've ever met. Even amongst elven kind, arrogance is not in shortage, especially for wizards. He is very much so unlike it. For a wizard, he is humble.
Yeah,
Yet
and
I sense it, as did Tenuviel. Something evil resides within him. I do not speak of his fiendish blood. Something is as if etched into his destiny. That is what Tenuviel saw. That is what I saw as well. But I must admit, Tenuviel is much more powerful than I. She
She's
must have
also-
seen something damning.
Well, she's kind of a bitch, so it doesn't really matter what she thinks, and she doesn't know shit about Casimir. She could say whatever she wants. He has the right to make the decisions of who he is, and I don't think he's evil.
I appreciate you. I appreciate having someone to actually tell this. The life in a lie was driving me mad. I think it's still right of me to turn myself in.
How about we put a pin in that? You know, let's see where it goes with Jonas. He gets
a
to have a
pin?
vote also. Yeah, put a
Oh.
pin in it, meaning we just put it there, we just wait.
Ah,
Because, you know, Jonas will want to put his input in. And I think he
Jonas has been
has a
gone from
vote.
the Elven Citadel for such a long time. I don't know if they'll count his vote for any sort of a trial.
No, meaning he gets, you know, right now you're saying you want to turn yourself in. I'm saying you don't turn yourself in. He's this deciding vote, you know, and then he says you don't turn
I-
yourself in, then you don't, you know. It's a
I don't
family
tru-
vote, and you won, and he's the deciding vote.
She pauses at that, and her eyes well up with tears again, says, family, you honor me with your words, and I can't believe you can still see me as someone trustworthy even after I told you all this.
I've done a lot of terrible things. A lot worse than what you're talking about with the stick. I mean, pretty bad. So, I mean, we all have redeeming qualities, you know what I mean? And just an FYI, I don't think Jonas is gonna want to live here in Singon, especially since people constantly call me half-breed.
He left.
and-
He left at a young age. He had his choices in life. I had my duties as a priestess. He never liked it here.
Yeah, I could see why. No
Listen,
offense. It's
I,
a beautiful
think-
city, but they're kind of stuffy, especially for the shit that we like to do.
You don't. Listen, I
You
like
can come live with us.
I
You know,
like
we're gonna buy a
you.
house. You
I
know,
like
the menagerie
you, and I
tales.
like your friends. I trust you with this information, obviously, but there is such vast years and ages that elves live through and get to see the cycle over and over again that has made my people somewhat scorn towards any other. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's as it should be to feel like this. I'm saying that elves live a very long time, and eternal minds are last ones to change.
Well,
But I do think that if you are able to find him and find a place of your own, yeah, it shouldn't be in the city. She sort of chuckles a little bit through the tears.
you can always just come live with us. You don't have to stay here. If
I
you don't want to
think-
be, if you don't want to be like the voice of memory.
Do you? No, yeah, I do. It is a great honor to be the voice of memory, but I'm gonna be honest with you. You've seen what Tanuviel can do. She can darken the skies in the name of her goddess. She summoned a divine intervention, turning day to night when those demons came for me. It's by her power and your presence there that I am alive, as perhaps undeserving as that should be.
Yeah, but what good is all that power defending your city when she's gonna be stuck in a tower with a whole bunch of tomes? They're not gonna allow her to be in facing danger when the city's under siege because she's gonna be too important.
Once Tanuviel, and I'm sure she will be, is pronounced the voice of memory, she will have the access to the Sequoia of Remembrance and all of its power. She will be a priestess unmatched. She will become an avatar for her god. She will have the power as other voices of memory had before her, the same power that has taken Singorn from the realms of the mortals to the Feywild. That is the duty of the voice of memory. While she is, as you said,
A bitch.
difficult at times, yes, perhaps. I know one irreversible truth about her, and that is that she would never, accept or make a deal that would endanger her people like I did. And she drops her head.
It's because she doesn't love anyone. She doesn't have a heart. Do you understand that? That's important. She cares about her elven heritage more than actual people, even more than her daughter. Isn't that sad?
I
She
don't
will
know
never
if I
have the love that
disagree.
you have for your brother. She will never experience that because she doesn't have a heart.
But it is my love that brought everyone here in danger. It is my love that brought your friend to trial that nearly had them executed.
If it wasn't you, it would have been somebody else. They would have just weaseled their way into somebody else's. It's just how they are. They just find another person. If we wiped out all the red path, they'll just find another red path. It has nothing to do with the people. It's the person who's moving the pieces. You have to get rid of that person.
I have to tell you. Well, the things I've already said. His location, Jonas, and this giant city of giants, and some drowned place beneath it. And the second, when that demoness brought me to that island, that old temple, that strange artifact that gave me my youth again, I felt myself slip away, die, and be reborn again rather than just magically restored to youth. When I was there, the demoness kept her mouth shut about the whole magic of this place, but I am wise enough to see through some deception. Not all, but some. That artifact means more to her than she let on. I believe that she is no demoness at all, but a mortal instead. I believe that the artifact she has in this old temple brings her back to life as it did with me. I do not think, if you say what you say, that you have destroyed her, I do not think she's in the hells. I think she's with this artifact. It was a strange geometric shape. I've never seen anything like it before.
Yeah, Bella will know what it is. You were talking about Bella's island. That's why she mentioned it to you.
The serpent folk one, yes, Arabellis. They
Yeah.
looked, the others that appeared when we were doing this searching for Jonas, that ritual she performed for me to let me know that he's alive. Serpent folk came riding massive Hydra monsters. Some sort of natives, perhaps? They were all, however, there was something about them. Their eyes had madness to them. Not just rage, but madness. I don't know, it all happened very fast.
Alright, well, I'll talk to Bella about it. We're not turning ourselves in, you understand?
Yes.
No, you're gonna focus on becoming the voice of memory. I will focus on finding Jonas. And I won't have a way to be able to get in because, they kind of hate me at the gate. So
They do not like you here, especially now thinking that you have a terrorist friend who is, yes, she's pardoned. I get it, but still.
So if we get married, right? Like, let's say I get married. Am I allowed in if I marry him? I'll be allowed in.
I believe so, yes. It takes about 3 decades for foreigners to apply for a visa and a citizenship here. Or 1 lifetime,
You said
whichever
3
comes first.
decades?
Yeah, yes. In the Elven City, time passes much slower for us here. A lot of people go to the Feywild to make it pass much faster. So anyway, it's a little complicated here. You might want to speak with the highest of the priests in the city, which, unfortunately, that'd be Tenuviel.
You mean the terrible evil witch?
She's
Okay.
not evil. Once again, she cares for her people, I think, above all else. Even, well, you've seen how she speaks with her daughter.
Yes, I understand. I have a terrible mother as well, so I
Listen,
understand.
there is a rope dangling from an invisible space in front of a bag
Yeah, we
guarded
gotta
by
go.
a demon. We should probably leave here
Yeah, she's-
before anyone notices anything. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll pop out.
You walk out, there's two elven guards kicking Quip, like,
What the
demon, terrible demon, get out of here! Who
What are you
summoned you
doing?
here? Speak the truth, demon! And he's like, I think I shit myself, and he's
gonna-
just crying on the floor.
Just gonna pick him up. What the fuck are you doing?
You brought this demon? Of course, it would be and his friend, like, stops him, like, enough of that. What is the purpose of this fiend being in our city?
He is my companion. She go, Quip, go ahead, turn into a bat, and then she'll put him on her shoulder.
He turns into a slug and starts crying on the floor.
You made him cry.
We made the demon cry, yeah? That's a... What? You shouldn't be here, nor should it. As
What's your name?
I do not owe you my name.
No. She's gonna yank hair out of his head.
Ah! What
I will
in
be able
the...
to find you anytime I want, and then I won't need to know your fucking name.
Good, give me an intimidation roll. 22, they stiffen up immediately, look at each other, and say, these are the ones that were pardoned. The allies of the one that was pardoned by the Verdant Lord. We should not mess with them. If any, who knows what kind of connections the others of them might have. This guy looks back, says, enough of this. Enough with your threats. You should leave this place now.
Yeah, she'll
And
pick
they
up her
look
bag.
over and they see Althea, and she sort of looks a little surprised, says, I was speaking with this one. They mean no harm. They were on their way already. There's no need to cause alarm. And they look back, says, High Priestess, but this one, and you were with them? And they're just sort of confused. As in that, Roxy, you can flip in the words and get out if you want to.
Yeah.
You and Quip walk off. Quip turns back into his invisible, demonic little self, says,
Mistress, these guys are fucking dicks.
I know. Don't worry about it, Quip. You're great.
We should leave this place. Everything's music.
Yeah,
I know. Fucking sucks. Come on, let's find everyone.
As you sort of leave with him in the bag, still in hand there. You guys walk through the gardens of the Elven City and are brought to a tall Elven tower. All the parties reunited together. The Telemagi look at you and say, where do you wish to go? 2 locations amongst the realm of Taldore we can send you to is the City of Fellowship, Iman, or the City of the Plains, Westron.
Can we go to Amon?
Iman, very well. They open a portal of gold and leaf as you guys begin to sort of step your way through, and you appear within the sapphire pyramid of the city, where you see from high above you have returned to Iman. You walk into its streets immediately as you look around, and you see not just elves, but humans, dwarves, minotaurs, tieflings, genasi, very rarely, all kinds of individuals of all walks of life walking on through. You guys got teleported here. The message you were sent, Casimir, Arenia and Kenneth are not going to be here probably for another few days.
Casimir will pass the message along.
Okay. Sky, you realize they bounced, right? The moment you got captured and such, they realized, like, yeah, it's a bad idea for us to stay here, and they just left.
Yeah.
You guys are...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now back in the city, all of you guys look amongst yourselves and think to yourselves, alright, we have some brand new information. We did it. We went out. This fateful event, this meteor coming down with this forgotten page. Roxy, your suspicions, while you can't confirm them 100%, you are pretty certain. They might have wanted to use that page to travel to the one who has crafted every single one of them and finish the collection. An attempt that the party has foiled. So, now, they might begin to look to their other avenues and options. No longer the red path, now just Ash will be much weaker, without as many servants, many of them now dead or dispelled and freed from her brainwashing. So, back in the City of Fellowship, a thought enters at some point all of your minds. Living in this city, not too far from this Sapphire Pyramid where you appear, to this Telemegi station in the Erudite Quarter, is a house of a quiet, rarely speaking collector, who we know as Vasil Summerin, but who in the past was a mad villain named Astral Clemane, the constructor of the spellbook of the god of liches, the god of necromancy. Back in town, what should we do?
Do we have to go confront him like right away?
I mean, I
Don't
don't think
have
he
to
does
talk to
anything
him at all.
particularly quickly. Probably not.
Probably not. He is pretty powerful. Even back then, he's probably only gotten more powerful.
Well, he doesn't really like using his magic, so I don't know.
And that's if he's the same person now that he was then. I recall and still been regret.
I think he might be different. Because remember, I don't know, above table. Does Bryn know that he said that he wasn't there as long?
Well, here's the thing. Casimir, you remember none of your path to the
Oh.
past.
Oh, right.
You died, so the person of your past, future, past self that was possessing your current past, future self died, and you, as yourself now, as you were before, are resurrected. So the rest of the party knows this and can fill you in. Casimir, this sounds insane. You time traveled, man. This sounds insane, all
But
of it.
What are you talking about?
Also, weren't there things that Casimir knew?
That's what I'm
That-
asking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were
Yeah,
things that
so-
he told them that he didn't tell us.
Correct. So I was curious, did he ever tell us or not?
No, he
I
wouldn't
don't
tell
think
you.
he did.
Oh shit.
That's
So-
lost
Yeah.
forever.
I was just
Oh,
lost.
okay,
Wow.
Okay.
That's gonna be
We
frustrating.
don't know then. That's what I was
But
trying to ask.
Casimir was
above
also
table.
told that it was a different reality that we're coming back to,
Mhm.
which is why he
Yeah.
talked to him.
Well, no, you guys came back to your reality. You traveled
So-
back in the past and forever changed his reality, which he did using his magic. You guys given him those like things that are significant to you. He used to anchor you guys to your reality in your bodies, as if like possessing your own bodies.
So, for example, we don't know how to destroy the pages.
I believe that knowledge was given to Casimir, and I don't
Correct.
remember if Casimir ever shared it with
I
anyone.
don't think so.
Like,
Yeah.
we never got to RP it, but if, like, Rav, if you think that he would have shared that information when he got it, like, he could have, right?
Yeah, he
I'm not
would've-
gonna be like, well, you didn't precisely say it, so now it's gone forever, right?
He would have shared the elemental shredder stuff in Witterback to make the spell focus, because that's important.
Okay.
But we wouldn't know precisely that it's possible that this Vasil has more empathy than the previous one, because that was something Casimir gleaned, not us.
Yeah. That
Okay,
part
good
you
talk.
wouldn't,
Okay.
you wouldn't know. I mean, acting interacting with Astro Clemane, he was a lot more like emotion and thought driven than like Vasilio. Vasilio now is basically a robot, right? He acts very much so like a robot.
Well, guys,
still-
based on what I knew, he probably isn't doing shit still.
What do you mean? Who's Astro? I mean, I know the name, but you met Astro Clemane?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were
the
there.
time
Yeah.
travel thing.
It's a lot.
We'll fill you in. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Casimir, they tell you a story about the most insane, like, fucking adventure you've had, right? What? We went to the past and then to the abyss, and then we fought a giant robot showed up, and then I went back, and, Casimir, you feel, as they're telling you this, while you have no memory of it, you feel incredible power at your fingertips, and knowledge not your own, yet still within your mind right now, even in this form. You still have that high magic ability.
I was gonna ask, did I lose superior spellcasting?
No, you still have that. That
Oh,
was
wow.
transcribed into your body rather than your sort of memory. Okay. But like Sky said, like, yeah, should we just go out for a fucking beer before we do this, or should we like go immediately talk to him, or fight him?
No, we should consider our options. I agree with Sky.
Yeah, I will admit I would like to just, after all that, have like a day or two.
I know I wouldn't say. I said I wouldn't drink again, but I died. A drink might be in
okay.
order, but I never got a chance to thank you because we went from the frying pan into the fire. But I did hear what you all had to say. Thank you.
It's good to have you back, Casimir.
It's nice to be wanted back.
That's sort of what family does. You know, they kind of want you around because they like you.
Casimir just nods.
Give him ruffle his hair.
Speaking of that, I'm gonna go to the slums. I'm gonna go kill someone because I am very fucking upset. And I guess I'll see you all in a couple of hours.
You're upset, so you're just gonna go fucking murk someone?
Imagine going
Yeah.
out for a beer with your friend, and he goes like, "Man, I'm pissed off. I'm gonna go kill someone."
I'm gonna go
And then-
see someone doing something really bad to some nice people, and then I'm just gonna kill them.
All right, Dexter.
All right. Well, Yeah.
Is it a reference to something?
Play once again. We just write it off as a play.
Roxy,
Mhm.
can you not be a homicidal maniac?
listen. I helped bring Casimir back. I didn't kill Bryn's mom, and I was kind of nice to you. I say, we just keep riding this wave.
Yeah, you probably should have killed her. That would have been nice. I would have.
You know what? It's on my list. She's on my fucking list.
Yeah, I wouldn't be bound by that oath still if you just killed her. That would have been nice.
That'd be great. But
Yeah.
two birds with one stone, right?
How long is that list? I'm just curious.
It's very fucking long.
I figured.
Also, your people from your island are kind of riding hydras and are mad. So
Oh,
I think we have
the
to
Hydra
go
thing
there.
is, yeah, that's just.
Alondra, you have a
simply
pet
right.
Hydra. Sorry, not Alondra, my bad. Bella, you have a pet Hydra at home as well. You have a Hydra that you got when you were like a young girl as
Oh
a
yes,
pet.
my Hydra.
You have a hydra.
Fucking name.
Yes, it's what we ride. You ride horses and other things, and we ride Hydras.
Pretty cool.
Oh yes, I miss my steed. She's a good girl.
Uh,
Bring her.
At some point, Bella, you gotta figure out 5 names for the heads of this Hydra if we ever encounter it.
Yes, that would
They're
be-
all named Ginny, but they're spelled differently.
Just a different name for each head. Yeah.
Look. You just going and killing people like that puts me in a little bit of a precarious position after a promise that I made. I'll ask once that you please don't just go murder people because you are upset. Because knowing that that's what you do, I am sort of duty bound at that point to do a thing that I really don't want to do for someone that has stuck their neck out for me.
Duty bound to what? Because now you're the Raven Queen and also the Law Bearer. You got a lot on your plates. A lot of plates dangling there.
Look, Raven Queen didn't do shit. I'm still here, right? So as far as I'm concerned, it's just my promise to the lawbearer that stands.
Right, I don't kill innocent people. You know, it's people who hurt like innocent people, so they're not good anyway. So it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
I want to talk about where the fact that it's the lawbearer comes in, and is these people are, you know, just petty criminals.
Don't worry about
Just-
it. You know, bodyguard. What was it you did? Bounty hunter. Don't worry about it. All right.
Definitely have to worry about it because if you start murking people,
See, this is why I don't tell you all nothing that I do.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna go read some books. I'm just gonna
Well,
walk away.
just yeah, exactly. What do they call it intellectually? Like plausible deniability or something like that, you know?
I love Roxy being like, I'm gonna go read some books, draws her knife and runs down the street. Okay, yeah, absolutely. Roxy, you walk off to do some leisurely afternoon reading, yeah?
you're all just okay with that? Like,
Hey man, I'm nobody's caper.
I
I'm just
don't
gonna
appreciate
not.
it.
everything that we are, you don't think that they figure out, you know, who's killing everybody in the fucking dark alleys that's gonna come back and bite us in the butt for the.
Have you
the
tried
DawnGuard?
convincing her of anything?
Yeah, I was about to say Roxy is
But,
her own.
you know, maybe if y'all sort of like jumped in on the conversation rather than sit there,
We all
stay
have in the
silent.
past. It's made no change.
I mean, I kind of wish she killed my mom, so I can't really argue with her.
Say that again.
I said I kind of wish she killed my mom, so I wouldn't be sucking this fucking deal. But you know, it's all right. So I can't disagree with her if I say do one bad
Yeah,
thing, you
what the
can't do
fuck's
another.
up with that? You agreed to just kill me and my
I wasn't fucking agreeing to kill you. I know I can't even do it. I took that deal knowing I'd not be able to fulfill it.
So you took the deal knowing you would be your mother's
No,
keeper?
I'm planning on going to find my dad.
And how does that play into the arrangement you have with your mom?
Don't
That seems
know.
something separate.
Figure it out. I could just run some equations in my brain. I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
But look, Cass is here, so obviously it was worth it.
I'm gonna go get a drink, and then I'm gonna take a bath, and I'm gonna find something new
I'll
to
join
wear
you for the
because
drink.
Yeah, I need a drink.
Okay,
You.
it sounds like a party.
Okay.
and
Off
then
we
I'm
go
gonna
again
find something new to wear because this is full of holes and smells like ass.
Yep. You got still like deeply drenched in fucking demon blood from shooting demons point blank. It's sort of like rotting mustard smell. It's gone a little too like kind of sticky. You can like hard to shake.
Yeah.
Back we go to the Laughing Lamia Inn, the sort of like the big 3-story hotel, the famous sort of adventurer spot in the town. As you guys are prepared some drinks, a bath, an evening of relaxation. Gods know you deserve it. Roxy, you yourself, I have some bad news. Well, maybe these are bad news. You tell me. Ever since your last venture down to the lower slums, to the lower city, people have been afraid. Afraid of the shadow that moves and cuts those who bully and force their way onto others. Your last visit has left a lasting mark on the people here. I say it's bad news because in all your current frustration, You find no one obvious for your wrath to target.
I mean, I guess that's not real bad news. She's kind of happy that nobody's being like mugged and hurt.
People are looking up to the rooftops and the dark alleyways, like a dangerous. For the sake of trademark, we won't mention it. A vigilante is about to pop out and do some serious violence. It's strange, but
yeah.
it's effective. Your work. This is the obvious proof of it. People will fear what they can't see, what they don't understand. And if it is fear that is to be your weapon, that keeps these people safe, so be it, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, she wanted people to be safe, so she's kind of frustrated that she can't do anything, but in a way, she's not.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess she goes, well, I guess I have to go read some fucking books now because there's nothing else to do. She's just gonna go to Cobalt Soul, and she wants to start seeing if they have anything. I know that they didn't have anything on Bella's family and her island.
There is like barely any information you find. However, where do you go? Just to like a local library, or do you go to the spot where Bryn went to before, like her university, the Alabaster Lyceum, like the biggest educational place in all of Iman?
I don't think she has access to any of that.
It is not like barred for anyone to like go in and look for information and such. Especially you've been here before. You've seen the people around. You could be just like, hey, I'm the friend of the person. They won't stop you from like forbid you from being here.
Can I turn myself into Bryn with the my
Absolutely,
ability?
you can. Absolutely. Yeah, they sort of see you say, you see a little gnome woman say, oh, hi, I don't think you remember me. I was in one of the classes of Professor Vor, and I saw you there as the sort of substitute educator at the time. Your thesis and theory on the evolution of the ancient peoples of the southern jungles was really something stunning. The artifacts they were working with, you spoke with such clarity on them. I thought it incredibly impressive. I just wanted to say that.
She's gonna try her best to make Bryn's voice.
Go ahead.
Give me that Australian accent. Go.
Oh, thank you. I put a lot of work into it, and I'm glad someone you read it. And she's gonna like shake her hand.
Oh, yeah, of course. I was hoping. I'm just gathering it for my like yearbook. Can I give? Could you please sign my notebook here? It is a archaeology of the ages between the year 399 to the year 579 here. Do you mind? Since it's an archaeological study here, I would be honored to have your signature as well. I have some signatures of the other professors. Would that be okay?
And she will grab the book, and I think I'll try to use because I have forgery. I have forgery kit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try my best to sign. She's gonna put like she's gonna put something like meaningful in there, like even because I know Bryn doesn't like people, but she doesn't want to like insult this person. She's gonna be like something. I don't even know what to put because I'm not really like. She's just gonna sign her name. She's gonna put something nice in there.
Sure.
She knows Bryn probably wouldn't write anything
Yo, I would
nice.
not put something nice.
So, like, thank you for taking the time to read my work, and I appreciate a like-minded individual who loves like artifacts as much as I do. And then she'll sign it.
You sign it. I'm not gonna make you roll anything with your forger kit, especially if her eyes light up. This like gnomish teenager girl kind of looks up and says, "Thank you so much. I will cherish this for the rest of my studies. Thank you so much." And she sort of wanders off down the hallway. Yeah. You turn around and almost bump into a orcish professor you've seen before. You see Professor Jorland Vor, the caretaker of Bryn's, look at you and say, "Bryn, my girl, what are you doing here? Again unannounced? I would really wish you let me know when you visit."
She's gonna look at him. She's like, I just saw my mom. I don't want to talk about it. And she's gonna walk away.
Oh goodness, that must be difficult. I will let you take your time. Take your time. Oh, I've been doing some more interesting research. You walk off like, oh, that girl always barely keeping her head on her shoulder, and he just sort of like, blah, 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 walks down the hallway. As you sort of walk off, having just spoken to your mom, you make it into the library. The person working there, like, oh, Prin, hello, good to see you again. Feel free to peruse the library as always.
Yeah, and she'll spend her time trying to find anything about Bella's, and also if they have anything about Astral Clemane, as much as I can find about him and like Bella's island. See how we can get there.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a history roll. 2 history rolls. We'll say first one for the island, this Visa Isle, as it is called, home of Bella's, and the second one will be for this Astral Clemane. You can have these with advantage because you are a replacement professor almost here. People will help you. You can ask for information. They will always be there to like give you extra info you need. So you can roll with advantage from both of these. Oh yeah, I see. 8 to an 18 instead, and for the second one, give me history with advantage.
I will use
What's
my
with the eights,
inspiration.
man?
Yeah,
What
I'll
the
use
fuck?
my inspiration
Okay.
for that.
Yeah, give it an inspiration reroll.
Oh my god.
All right, man. Okay. All right. You find nearly no information on Astral Clemane. Astral Clemane is an individual of the past. The only bits of information you find is that he is some mage that somehow survived major part of the calamity when the gods broke out of their prisons, and eventually it was just sort of discovered that some guy called the Arts Humanor and his like adventuring party slew this wizard when he like went mad like more than 300 to 400 years ago. You sort of look like, where do I know that name, Arts Humanor? Where have I heard of that? Humanor's Observatory, the place in Western, the observatory we visited long time ago. The Estella, that lady, the diviner lady that we like captured that's in prison, you're like, that's connected somehow, and I can't quite find out how. But you just sort of find out like there was this hero called Arts Humanor, and he was like a hero of Western, and then you're like, Humanor's Observatory, the headmistress at the Humanor's Observatory was that Estella lady that got like blinded. We were at her trial and such. And you just like, okay, the Clemane defeated by this Humanor guy, Humanor's Observatory, Estella, something there, but you can't quite find a connection.
Yeah, and then after that, she'll go back and hang out with them.
Yeah. By the way, the 18 for the island, the Visa Isle, you find that this is one of the most magically mysterious locations in all of Exandria. It is known that some sort of lizard and serpent folk tribes live on this island, but the island is shrouded and protected nearly by chaotic, calamitous magic, misfortune, bad luck, and strange causes of like chaos magic burst all around the waters of the island, causing nearby ships to steer far and away from it, lest they risk being thrown against the rocks and pulled under the waves. Very, very little is known about it. In fact, it is only one Professor Jorland Vor and a small group of expeditioners that have actually went to the island, recovered all kinds of artifacts every once in a while, mostly of like historical value, less than like magical artifacts, that have found pieces of information about it. Other than that, there is very little. It's like this place is cursed, and everyone should stay far and clear away from it. Most people speak like it is a place of great death, like some sort of tragedy must have happened there for this magic to linger to such a long degree. And with an 18, you find that there's a location along the coast, the closest to the Visa Isle, at least of the ports around it. A little place called Ruins of Anoa, the place where you guys learned that Sky was being held after she was sort of kidnapped.
Yeah, we
place
went there, right, with
strange-
the
exactly,
vampire
yes,
lady.
Yes, the plains of strange, chaotic magic there that some researchers are starting to believe some members of the Cobalt Soul, travelers of theirs, expositors, reveal that they believe that chaotic, unpredictable, bad luck magic that is permeating around Ruins of Anoa is sort of oozing out from Visa Isle instead. As you think to yourself, like, well, man, if that was chaos magic around Onoa and that was like messing up our spells and stuff, what does it look like if you're trying to actually get onto this island that is seemingly like the source of this like weird chaos? And yeah, as Emily mentioned there, yeah, that is when you guys also when you guys met with Professor Vor and got from him which he has recovered from the island in his last expedition, the covers of that book. Now, knowing from Althea that about a year ago, before these just before these book covers were recovered, there's an artifact there as well, and you start to sort of piece some pieces together and start to think to
That's
yourself,
why
like,
they stole her research, because he probably had some of those things that they needed.
you start thinking to yourself, yeah, why would they focus on that? Why would they go after that? Makes a lot of sense, but also maybe that temple and that artifact that Althea mentioned, maybe it's a lot more important to Ash. Maybe that is if the book covers were there. Who knows what else she's keeping there? But also, like, similar story of what Professor War mentioned. Like, yeah, we found these covers, and then a bunch of fucking crazy snake people attacked us, and we had to book it. We had to just leave and run for our lives. So yeah, you start realizing, like, okay, maybe this mysterious island is something to look into in the future. We have a few points of interest now. As you sort of finished your research, it takes you probably like 2 or 3 maybe recastings of your disguise self for the duration you're here. But eventually, yeah, you can go and meet with your friends who you meet in... well, probably the spa. There's probably the drinking is done with, and everyone is just sort of, we're having a little spa episode. You guys are sitting in like hot springs. There's like a hot, sort of like a boiling mud kind of little area you can relax in as well. There's like a massage, or like a masseur and a masseuse can sort of show up and help you guys relax. As yeah, you guys find an evening to relax. Roxy, do you join them for like the evening of like drinking and relaxing, or?
I'll probably do the spa. She doesn't really want to drink.
Okay. Yeah. As long as you guys are down, you can totally find a spot to rest for not only for the night, but not to sleep, but also to just relax, recover, be taken care of, pampered somewhat.
Yeah.
While you guys are just sort of relaxing, is there any conversations to be had as you're sharing your drinks, looking to your friends? Your ally Casimir, brought back from the dead, from the realm of the eternal Raven Queen. He came back. You watched him die, and now he's back. There's a strange sense of, I don't know, curiosity. You all are powerful. Powerful enough to overcome death at this point. You've only been together for, at this point, no more than almost like a year and something, yeah? But altogether, you've grown incredibly powerful. Closer to your goals, closer to resolutions of your past, slowly now unwinding for all of you, huh? It's a strange feeling, especially for you, Casimir. knowing that you're back and alive. Although one thing you still can shake, even back, even now, as a reminder, as if a little itch to your left eye every once in a while. It's a little bit of green liquid, like a tear, releases from it every once in a while. It's always the
So,
left eye.
How far down on the proverbial scale are we now of altering the fate of the world at this point?
Pins it to be seen. Kind of been a bit rural lately, haven't we?
Casimir, do you know what is on your back?
On my back or on my chest?
It's on his
Oh,
chest.
It's
Yeah.
on your chest?
It is the symbol that kept me locked in my master's tower.
Like a binding spell?
Not sure how it worked. I believe so, yes. But as was said to me by the one we're dealing with, it was according to his plan, and he taught my master how to do it. So,
I find it interesting that you have a very celestial name.
chose the name myself. Oh, you mean Casimir
It's the
looks?
other name.
Casimir, you look at him like, what? What are you talking? Like, how would they know about that?
Yeah, Casimir is suddenly like shocked face. He's like, what do you mean my name? Don't.
Yeah.
Did I
won't
say
it
my
out.
name?
You told us.
Sure did, yeah.
Oh, fuck. Ugh. Casimir's got his head in his hands. Can't say that
It's like,
name.
you're thinking to yourself, like, why? Why would I do that? I would never do that.
Yeah, I don't know why I would tell you, because it's not that I don't want to, that I didn't want to. It's that if it's said, my master can locate it if he's still alive, and now we know he is. It's
Yeah,
not-
don't worry. I'm not gonna say it out loud. Just when you said it, it was in the past, in one of the realms of hell or the abyss or something like that. So like well over 1,000 years ago, you told me, technically speaking. But for what it's worth, won't say it out loud. I'm just curious. It's very celestial. There a reason for that?
Vecna and my master, I don't know, maybe they had a sense of irony. I don't know. I know the name I chose for myself. Both of heaven and hell.
Say of heaven. It's like your mom, celestial or something, or your dad.
No, it's the name that came to me because I was inspired by the weave, and I thought it was a divine intervention that got me out of there.
Fair enough.
But as far as the scar on my chest, it may have some quality. I don't know. I've never researched it.
Have you ever? Yeah, I was going to say, did you ever study it to?
I just
Figure
learned
out
that
its-
by Vecna's ploys that it was put on me, so now I need to research it.
Because it seems like not only they were talking about you in the cave way back when
The cave?
when the red path we're talking about, the things that they needed, weren't they
All the way
seeking-
back in Turst Fields.
Oh, yes. Yes, that was me.
Yeah. Seems you are a wanted asset.
I don't want to do what I do for anyone else. I know it's rare. Which is why I've been quiet about it and trying to keep it to myself, but now it seems a lot of people know.
You are very, very flagrant about how you use it.
Am I?
Yeah.
It's an ability that usually people don't know I'm doing.
Yeah, as mentioned, those of you who are not like ridiculously perceptive, it's undetectable. It is not something that can be noticed by even other mages who are not like diviners or have the ability to like commune with the gods by magic, by ways of like abilities or magic and stuff. So for most of you guys, I think out of anyone in the group, it'd only be Bryn who'd ever be able to notice it happening. Yeah. But I mean, you guys see him doing fucking silvery barbs all the time as well, so you know that's another way he does it.
I mean,
I didn't. I was just going to say I didn't quite get it myself until I cast some of his divination magic and was able to use it. And it's true, nobody really knows the hand of fate that you.
It's
you
hard. It's hard to detect. You know, I make a joke of me just standing around while you guys do all the work, but I see horrific things that I don't share with you all because I don't want it to pass.
Yeah, I think all of you guys sort of look amongst yourselves and realize like, how many battles did we lose that Casimir got to watch?
well, I don't want to be overly grim on a beautiful moment where we all get be reunited, but for our conversation a long, long time ago about the more we keep tipping things in one direction, just be mindful of that.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? I didn't hear it. The music
You're a
box
little
got
quiet.
loud.
I lowered
Yeah,
down.
the more we start to tip things in one direction, just remember eventually it has to swing back the other way.
Yes, I remember the conversation we had.
Especially now that we made a big fucking swing in the other direction, asking that goddess for you to come back. That's our scales are probably bottomed out on the other side, or damn near close to it.
I don't know about that. A lot of people are alive because of us.
Yeah, we'll build that karma back one task at a time.
I wouldn't really relate it to karma, but sure, that helps you.
I call it what you will. I don't know. I don't even know what karma is. I've just heard that word thrown around.
Oh, karma's like you do a good thing and a good thing comes to you, right? Like that sort of thing. Do a bad thing, then a bad thing happens to you. My
As-
belief is more in line with the more you tempt fate, the more you owe it. Kind of like a transaction.
Yeah, the Raven Queen did tell me that there might be a price I have to pay. But we'll see if that comes to pass. I
Look
do.
at us sit.
I do remember the conversation with the Raven Queen, right?
Yeah, you remember all of that. Everything that happened. So just for your like headcanon here, what you remember is walking up a mountain, seeing a meteor come on down, a big fight happening, like against. It's so bizarre for you, especially Casimir, because you remember the meteor coming down, like the Tiamat and Red Path coming out, Tiamat people and Red Path people coming out, fighting. All of a sudden, blinking, standing in the forests. As your head is crushed, and then waking up being revived, right? The second fight you missed almost entirely, as well as like being back in the past. Everything after your death, you remember.
All right.
That's rough.
Okay. Yeah.
It's just like that
For
last
a wizard
like,
to
chunk
lose
is, like,
memory of time travel is a rough time.
you have like a snapshot of like stills, then your head's popped, and then you wake up and you're like,
Yeah, exactly. It's like waking up from a bad dream to realize you're in a bad dream, and then yeah.
Oof.
Okay. Yeah. As you guys are sort of sitting there, there's some comfort in knowing that you've overcome every challenge that's come your way this far. You've defeated Ash. You did it. You destroyed her. You sent her back to hell, presumably, as Roxy. You have a sneaking suspicion that might not have been the case now. Does Roxy share any of her information she learned from Althea or like researching at the library for a bit?
Yeah, she would tell them about that she's probably on her island and not in hell.
Mm-hmm.
Back on my island, really?
Yeah, apparently. She's really obsessed with it. The temple with the beacon thing that you talk about.
If she's there now, while she's weak, that's when we should go there and deal with her. Although, if she came back to life because she died here, does that mean she has to die in the hills?
Can you even send her there if she's gonna just appear back over there?
As a quick mention, Arabellis, you
Yeah, I was gonna
have
say, do I have
never.
any?
So you've never been to actually see the what your people called Isen der Horisi, which is the name for the light from before, the artifact that has sort of unified your people. It is a rite of passage, something that you only got a glimpse of the night before you escaped to go experience, well, life off the island and the rest of it, right? You do remember stories of a temple, a shrine, deep within the jungles of the Visa Isle, of your home. But it is very much so like religiously believed to be forbidden for anyone to just go there. No one is allowed to just go there. You only go there. The high priest would go there, and those who have come of age to be shown to the light, to be seen by the light from before. This Isen der Horisi. It's something that you never got to experience, but always felt a connection to. Because once again, Bella's pretty young.
Maybe it is my time to go through the ritual. I explained that.
I'll copy paste the name so you have it.
I
so
think
you're
it's
not...
Isendor Harisi. Is that
Yes,
did I say that right?
exactly, and it stands
Yes.
for basically in your language for light from before,
Light
like
from
literally
before.
translated.
So then, will that be our next goal then? To go to Isen de Harasi?
If indeed Ash rematerialized there, then maybe it is our best option to kill her once and for all.
oh, I would love to strangle the life out of her.
I think we all would.
It's a bit more personal. Can I ask dibs for that? Like, I'll let you like beat her while I'm doing it. Like, I'll
Can
hold
we
the throat
murder
and you can
together?
punch her in the face.
It's a group project, okay? But yes, I understand that it's a little personal.
I get the strangling. You can hit her in the face. Roxy can stab her in the stomach.
As you
Well,
know,
yeah, because I haven't stabbed anyone in a while, so yes, I would like that.
we might.
Uh-huh.
Casimir's thinking back in his first venture out of the temple or the tower, meeting Althea, and how he got to near Stilben, and that she had said if they
Not meeting Althea, Arethusa.
I'm sorry, Arethusa. Excuse me,
It'd
Arethusa.
be a big twist for no reason, I think. But yeah, no. Arethusa, yes.
We could ask Arethusa to transfer us near there if she's able to. She did get me to Stilben from the Stormcrest Mountains through a water portal.
I think we need to talk to Jormund. He's the only one that's made the journey there and has returned.
I'm saying is we can use, if she's agreeable to it, Arethusa can just take us there.
Based off my conversation with Artusa, there's not a big connection to the Feywild there. I don't think that's like part of my.
Not so much. She gave you that. Remember that she gave you that
Exactly, yeah.
tier for you to make a connection.
Exactly.
yeah?
Yeah. So yeah, my understanding is there is no connection to the Feywild on the islands. That's part of one of my goals is to create a connection there.
Is a connection required to use that ability?
I do not know.
I don't either.
I could ask.
Best that she described, the reason she gave you that tier is like, yes, she can just manifest just about everywhere. There are dedicated like locations that she can show up in, and you having that little magical sort of like a drop of water will make a location like dedicated,
connected
blessed,
to the
whatever you
Feywild.
want to call
Yeah,
it. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get there first, and then she can help us. Might be a good way back, but way there, I don't think so.
I mean, like Bryn, you know, like Professor Vor, he's gone there. He didn't do it anything magically. He got a bunch of people in a ship, and they just, it was a rough trip. It was a very rough trip, but they survived. They got there and back. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're overthinking it. We probably could get an expedition to go out there, maybe charter a ship.
A ship?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I mean, how do you
Sailed
think
in a
I got
while.
here?
You flew, right?
No.
Yeah, I know.
I
I'm
said-
joking.
Her sarcasm is a little dry.
Like, you trying to remember to yourself, Bella, you're like, there's no, like, I wasn't affected by any, like, storms or, like, bad weather or bad luck or anything like that. I just sort of sailed away, yeah? Like, you didn't experience any of that. What you're hearing people talk about, like, yeah, man, these, like, horrible, like, omens of bad luck and storms and, like, bad weather and just giant tidal waves and, like, it's like the island is trying to push you away and not let you in and that type of stuff. You never experienced that, so.
Hey guys, well, I got some news for you. My god's kind of like the god of storms, so if we got any storms coming, maybe I could just, throw a word out to the sky above.
Plus,
Maybe I'll cut it out.
Plus, we can't get a regular expedition. No one's gonna go there. It has to be probably a pirate.
Why does it have to be a pirate?
You can just pay a
Because-
ship.
Because they'll take the job of possibly going to a island that people cannot go there. Regular people are not gonna do that.
I mean, it sounds like they do it all the time in the name of academia.
I don't.
It's only been there like twice. Well, to the place at least, to like the Visa Isle place.
I mean, how
I mean-
bad could it be? I mean, like I said, I could just ask Cord, no storms. That'd be cool, right?
I
Can we
mean,
cut it out today? Can we just cut it out?
I would like. There's some unfinished business at home that, I mean, my father was going mad, and I was trapped, and I needed a way out, and I know now what I know, and I want to return home and make it right. It seems like the story is leading there. There's some important pieces there that we need to take a look at, and I think it will deepen our understanding of the full picture and maybe who this Master Ash serves.
Well, I'm assuming that would be Red Prince.
That's what she said, but what if she's pretending it's the Red Prince and it's something else? Why would she tell you who it is? I mean, that I feel like telling you is silly. If it's so important to her, she would keep it deeply secret.
I mean, that was what we were trying to bring into this world before she showed up.
Maybe she had no plan to bring you a Red Prince. Maybe it's just a facade. She told you it was going to be the Red Prince, but it's probably not.
Something else, yes, under the guise of the Red Prince.
Well, we don't really know what he is. Never really understood exactly what it was. Just that it promised to better everything. And that regardless of what it is, devil, demon, fucking
Jess,
archangel,
you are
God,
you are either far from your mic or you have shrunk to a size of a peanut. I at least can like barely hear you right
it's
now.
tough.
Sorry, I'm just talking.
I'll try to like boost you, I guess, on my side of things a little.
Is this like an okay volume?
Yeah, you're better now.
Yeah, a little better.
Yeah, I didn't change anything. I just been talking at this volume the whole time.
Weird, huh? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So did you were you at least able to hear what I said, or do I need to repeat the whole thing?
I heard most of what you said, except for the very sort of last sentence.
Yeah. So devil, demon, fuck, could be an archfey for all I know.
Hmm.
Never actually
guys-
saw him, so to speak.
Yeah, you guys listening on, thinking to yourselves what your options should be. As you guys are sort of leaving for the evening there, eventually trying to find a spot to rest and such, you guys, during this little preparation or like tinkering session, scheming, planning session in the bathhouse here, that's where we're going to end the session for tonight. Here, as you guys get yourself a long rest, you are back in the world.
9:30.
It's close to where we sort of usually end here, I figured. And also, my internet has been like cutting in and out for the last like 20-30 minutes again. So I think on my side of things, we're gonna end a little earlier here, and it will go a little longer next time. It'll be a little bit since we play. Oh man, it's been so weird for me because the music pod for me is going. I was like, oh Jesus fucking Christ. So yes, that said, you guys, we're gonna leave it here for tonight. Having learned a bunch of new information here, having been capable and successful in bringing back our friend from the land of the dead. And having learned all this info. Yes. That was awesome, by the way. That was some awesome.
Natural one, crazy.
That
I
was.
can't believe you rolled a 1,
rough.
man.
That last roll is not necessarily a check or ability or a save or anything like that. It's a simple D20 roll that the DM rolls. The number that I get is the number that you guys need to beat. In this case, because of the one failure given to you by Vecna, and then 4 successes, bringing it down to a 0, math says that, yeah, by default, you guys could not have lost Casimir. If Casimir died additional time, because the DC does increase again and again every time you die, which means Casimir from now on, as a default, if you die, it's gonna be more difficult to bring you back.
Well,
right?
we're still trying
All
not
of
to
your
die.
Yeah, just try not to die. Just don't die. That's the easiest part of the game, I think. So, yes, all of you being successful, absolutely successful there, means that there was no chance of losing him if you all succeeded on the roll. I rolled simply to find out before, let's find out what DC is before all of this, and it turns out, yeah, it was nearly impossible. Oh shit, Jen had to bounce. Yeah, it was nearly impossible for you guys to fail. After all, your connection to Casimir was so incredibly strong. Yeah, but he's died once now. Next time, the Raven Queen will want to tighten that grip on what fate should be for Casimir. But yes, guys, over the week, I'm going to send I'm gonna make a little message. I'll ping everyone in it. Message will basically be, hey, the party is currently at a situation where we have multiple options of what we should or could do right now. But of course, we only have, so much time. We can't quite split the party because that would be difficult for so many reasons. But also, to keep it simple, you guys as players, I will basically make a little post to be like, okay, here's a little voting thing. Vote 1 if you want to, we should go to this mission next. Vote 2 if you want to this mission. Vote 3 this. Vote 4 blah blah blah. Right? I'll make a little list of things that the party can go and do. You're not necessarily on the clock or anything like that. You have time now to do all of these. It just depends what order of things you want to do it in. So you don't need to feel like, oh shit, we're not gonna go explore the part of the story that I'm sort of interested in or anything like that. Don't worry, we'll get to all of them. It just matters what order of things we'll explore them in. How we're gonna uncover some things, how we're gonna encounter some things, that's the only thing that'll change. So I'll make a little thing of hey, should we, go to the Visa Isle, go to Widabach, should we go to the Ashen Gorge and look for that super powerful artifact? Should we go look into what we found out was that hidden lair that the Red Path used to use, when they were on Ash's side of things, right? We have a few different locations that we can explore, and we'll basically vote what you guys as players think we should go do first, right? Once again, absolutely no extreme urgency. Absolutely, as characters, you should want to resolve these things as soon as possible. But as players, don't worry, the world hopefully won't end if you choose one of these options rather than the other, right? You've struck a massive blow, destroying that scroll and taking Ash's ability away to recover these scroll from the source. And because we're going to be on a little, we're going to have sort of hiatus here, you guys will get to decide what should our next adventure be, and basically, in what order we'll do this. Now, I know the things change, so doing one thing might be oh shit, that means this, so let's do this one instead next. We'll get to that when we get to that. But as of now, GG's, you guys. GG's. This was an awesome roleplay filled game. Some information we learned, and turns out Tanuviel, very difficult person as she was, likes her elves more than anything else, and it was Althea instead who made that deal. But of course, only Roxy knows this at the moment. Casimir had that conversation with Astral Clemaine, yet he forgot, having died. Out of all people, man, it's Casimir who knows the information and is the one to die. Man, oh man. You guys, that's enough of me yapping about. That's what we're gonna call it for the session tonight. Emily and Jess, send us some pictures when you guys hang out
Heck yeah.
at the con.
Yeah.
Show us some cool stuff you see over there. And for the rest of you guys, I'll send a little message if you guys are interested in a little one shot, maybe, or something on our game days, or something like that.
Sounds good.
So yeah. You guys, I'm gonna bounce. I don't know how much you heard of that. My voice connected thing, like voice connection on Discord, keeps going like 100 ms, 5,000 ms, 500, 5,000. I was like, what the fuck is going? I think something's just bugging with my internet.
I think it's where you live.
Hey, that's I think rude, I think, but kind of true. Yeah, no worries. It's your environment that's the problem. God damn, Emily.
It's your town. It's not your your town is blurred.
Nah, I'm fucking about. I'm gonna go chill out, have myself a drink and some food and such. I've been watching this show that a friend suggested called Wheel of Time, and I'm having some fun
Oh.
with it. Very cool, fantasy magic stuff,
Yeah.
swords and monsters.
Very famous book series. So
Okay, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. Character has been resurrected. I'm super excited about that. Now we gotta wait 2 weeks for the next session for DawnGuard because some players are going to Gen Con. I'm super jealous and super happy for them. We're gonna read out. Love you all. See you next time.